there is only one way for Kansas State to get to Arlington, and that is with a Colorado loss and with K-State winning out. Or is there? You see, that's the question I had the other day. I thought everyone was stupid rooting for Iowa State to lose. I thought everyone was dumb rooting for BYU to lose, but I've run the matrix and I'm actually pretty surprised with the results because there are so many ways for K-State to get to Arlington. Now, of course, we're going to preface this with K-State no longer controls its destiny. The loss to Houston, absolutely brutal. But there are still multiple ways, multiple teams losing, ways to get to Arlington. And actually, there's ways K-State can still win the conference outright, albeit that's probably not going to happen. But let's just dive into it. Let's dive into the scenarios of Kansas State making it to Arlington. I'm using this website. It's called like B Brackets. It's by a Twitter user, X user, named MRed53. Shout out to them. I'm assuming the tiebreaker rules and all that is correct. So if it's not correct, then this whole video is wrong, but we're just going to go with it. And I'm also making this video in relation because the Big 12 said that there were 14 teams still in the playoff picture last week. And so I just was curious, and we're going to go over some other teams who might still have ways to the Big 12 championship game. I want to see if there's a way for KU too, because that would be absolutely hilarious, the Sunflower Showdown in the Big 12 championship. So let's go over the first one. Obviously, the cleanest way for Kansas State to make it to the Big 12 title game, which is through one Colorado loss and through Kansas State winning out. And here's the matrix laid out for you right here. I also have a second webcam here. Hello, welcome. This one's way lower res. So this is obviously the cleanest way because K-State is above Colorado and Iowa State. Iowa State would have, 3 losses at this point. Thank you, Tech. Colorado, we obviously beat them in head-to-head, which is the first tiebreaker rule. So we'd be good there. And we get a rematch up against BYU. This is the easiest way for us to get back to the Big 12 title game. Just the cleanest, simplest. There's a good chance Colorado drops a game, I feel. They look very beatable right now. KU might be getting the hot hand. KU's still a very good team. I want y'all to know that. KU's a very good team. They're the best 3 in what's the record? 3-2-4? That doesn't seem right. I thought they've won. No, they've won 3. Yeah, they beat Lindenwood. Shout out to Lindenwood. They're a very good team. Their record does not stay it. They're a very good team. There's other ways for us to get there. So obviously Colorado does have to drop one, but let's play a scenario, right? I was curious. If K-State loses 3 games, is Arlington still possible? And the answer is yes. It really is possible, and it's quite funny. I mean, it's not that funny. If you're a K-State guy, you don't want them to lose. That would not be funny. But basically, if we drop to Cincinnati, there are still ways for us to get to the Big 12 title game. There's still ways for us to outright win the Big 12 going into that title game. So, assuming BYU loses all... I know the comments are about to start coming for me. Look, BYU's probably not losing all 3. But if they did, and let's say we lost to Cincinnati, Colorado loses another 2, so Kansas beats them. Let's say Utah beats them. That's not going to happen either. But, let's say they do. Let's calculate the standings real quick. Look at that. K-State is 6-3 and at the top of the conference. Even though we've lost to BYU, because that's how the tiebreaker rules work, because all 6 of these teams have not played each other, right? So you can't really use the tiebreaker rules. You go to round robin, you go to common opponents. So for this scenario, because we have beat Arizona State and West Virginia, the 3 of us are above BYU, Colorado, and Iowa State based on record versus common conference opponents, all played equal times, which I'm actually not sure who that would be in this scenario. Not well researched, Carter. Do better. But what matters is that since K-State, West Virginia, Arizona State are all above BYU, Colorado, and Iowa State, then when we tie with Arizona State and West Virginia, we get a round robin sweep of 2-0 because we have played both these teams and we have beat both these teams. So yes, even if K-State drops a 3rd game, again, not likely, but if it does happen, there's still a way to Arlington, which is just crazy to me. Welcome to the Big 12. Another scenario. What if BYU wins out, but we still drop to Cincinnati, is there still a way for us to make it to the title game? The answer is yes. I had to make sure, but the answer is yes. And it's quite simple. Colorado needs to drop 2, but again, it is possible. Colorado drops 2. We're above Colorado, Iowa State, and West Virginia based on the round robin record sweep of 3-0 because we played all 3 of them and we have beat all 3 of them. This assumes we win Iowa State. That is a must-win game. That is the team you have to have circled on your schedule if you want to get to this title game. BYU still 9-0, obviously top of the conference. I think it's crazy though that K-State can lose a 3rd game and still has a chance to make it though. That is incredible to me. That it really is. So another scenario I want to play out. What if BYU somehow loses 3 and Colorado wins out? Is there a way for us to make it to the Big 12 title game? And I believe that is very possible. Let me just click my buttons here real quick. I'm very good at clicking buttons, folks, I promise. Yep, and look at that. There is. If we went out, yeah, obviously, yeah, then yeah, Colorado's 8-1, we're 7-2, BYU 6-3. Okay, we need to make it more interesting than that, folks. What if Colorado? What if we lose one, right? What if we lose to Cincinnati? We're still in. It's actually crazy. It's actually crazy how many possible matrices favor Kansas State right now. And that is because we have played all the top teams. That is what you get for having a weirdly strong strength of schedule. Because at the beginning of the season, this schedule was looking pretty easy, right? Arizona State's actually really good. West Virginia, pretty good. We knew that going into the season, though. Colorado, actually pretty freaking good. Iowa State, actually pretty good. BYU, very good. So it's a little surprising that, we would have considered probably the hardest schedule in the Big 12. I mean, maybe KU has a tougher one. It's a pretty close call there. But yeah, this is what you get when you play all the good teams and you do good. You get some cushion. And yes, there is a way for Kansas State to get to the Big 12 title game. Even with 3 losses, there are a lot of ways to do it. Now, I just want to quickly mention this too. There's also a world where Colorado doesn't lose a game and K-State can still make it to the title game. And that's with BYU dropping 2 games and West Virginia winning out. In this scenario, because I don't believe West Virginia and BYU are playing each other and they're not slated on each other's schedule, K-State is above the 2 of them based on conference opponent win percentage. So there's some other things in this matrix that need to happen that I'm going to be super frank with y'all. I'm too lazy to look up. But I just want to say it is possible. That's the whole point of this video, is just showing that it is possible for K-State to get to this title game. And there are so many ways for it to happen that aren't completely out of this world. BYU losing 2 is not completely out of this world, even though it's looking very unlikely. Not impossible, though. I think the bigger question is there any chance K-State gets in as a strength of resume? I think the answer to that is no. Even if K-State wins out, makes it to the Big 12 title game, and loses to BYU, I don't think they make it in as an at-large bid. There's too many 2-loss SEC teams right now, and I think the committee will probably favor those. There's too many good Big 10 teams this season. Penn State is garbage, but they're going to probably get in because they have a cupcake schedule. That's just my personal opinion. Don't attack me. But, it is what it is. And you can't lose that much in the Big 12 and assume you're going to be an at-large bid. I think the best case scenario for K-State, genuinely, and for the conference, is that K-State wins out, BYU wins out, Colorado drops 1, K-State beats BYU in the Big 12 championship, and you get 1 auto bid because K-State wins the tournament, and BYU gets in as an at-large bid. I have a very, very hard time thinking that BYU would get left out if their only loss was in the Big 12 title game to Kansas State, who has only lost twice, once to BYU and once to Houston, which Houston is obviously a bad loss, but what can you do at this point? Every team on the bubble probably has at least like one bad loss at this point. Like, for example, Tennessee with Arkansas. The other good scenario I guess that can happen is if Houston wins out, then that makes us look better. I still don't think we get in through strength of resume, through an at-large bid, even if we play close with BYU in the Big 12 title game, but that's just me. Another thing that K-State does have going for it, though, is that it is the only team right now to have 2 road wins against current top 25 opponents, which would be Tulane, who just broke into the top 25, who are 6-0 in the AAC? Yeah, AAC. And they've only lost to us and Oklahoma, which Oklahoma's kind of a mad loss. K-State's not really a bad loss. And then Colorado, obviously, who is surprisingly having a good season, who has lost to Nebraska and has lost to us, obviously. So, yeah, these are all the scenarios. I want to run real quick, though, if there is a world where the Sunflower Showdown happens in Arlington. Okay, folks, I've done the math. I've calculated the most favorable way for KU to get to the Big 12 title game. And unfortunately, BYU is always going to win that tiebreaker because it is literally not possible for KU to have more wins than BYU this season. So there's your answer. I probably should have realized that going into this vid. So again, bad research, Carter, but there you go. There you go. There's your answer. There's no possibility of a Sunflower Showdown in the Big 12 title game. So it looks like KU has been eliminated from contention, and that's all she wrote. Yeah, to answer your question, there are a lot of ways for K-State to make it to the Big 12 title game. Even if K-State loses a game, there's still a way to get to the title game. I probably haven't even played with all the matrices. There's probably ways for us to lose to Iowa State and to Arizona State and still make it into the game. I just did not play with that matrix today because I got to the meat and bones of what I wanted to, which is that K-State can lose a third game, still make it to the title game. Unlikely, yes. Possible, yes. Do we control our destiny? No, but it's not Jover by any means if you're a K-State fan. And yeah, that's all I got for you guys today. Appreciate you watching. I'll probably make a Twitter thread version of this because I know not everyone likes the YouTube video. So let me know if you guys like this kind of content. We'll see if more gets made. But yeah, thank you all for watching. Hope you have a great day. Go Cats.